And welcome to another live stream watch-along reaction. Tonight we are watching and reacting to Real España versus Alajuelense in the Scotiabank CONCACAF League 2022 semifinal leg 1 this week. The first leg of the semifinals. Next week, Tuesday, both second legs. We'll find out who goes to the final of the CONCACAF League, of the final ever CONCACAF League. 6 more matches to be played in this tournament. In its history, 2 of them will be played this week. 2 of them will be played next week. And then at the end of October and start of November, we got the 2 final legs. See who's there. Can 2 champions make it a champion versus champion match to see former champion versus former champion match to see who ends it out as the only 2-time champion? Or will we get Real España versus Motagua? Will Motagua have a chance to finally get into the record books as a champion in this tournament? Or will Real España make their only run count in this tournament? The way they look, they could. With that being said, we have 11s here. Real España, the home side. Luis Lopez in goal. Kevin Alvarez, Ariel Saravia, Getzel Montes, and Franklin Flores. At the back, Junior Lacayo, Myron Flores, Luis Garrido, and João Benavides. Up in the midfield, Carlos Bernardes and Ramiro Roca, the strikers for Real España. And for Alajuelense, the away side, in goal, we have Lionel Moreira, Ian Smith, Giancarlo Gonzalez, Alexi Gamboa, and Aubrey David at the back. Carlos Mora, Alexander Lopez, Celso Borges, Jose Cubero, and Freddy Gondola in the midfield, and the lone striker of Johan Vanegas tonight in Honduras, Francisco Morazan Stadium. Got Celador here, says, hello, Ryan, how are you? I'm doing fine. I'm doing great. Galaxy, Nashville, and Montreal made to 2022 playoffs. However, Atlanta, Revolution, and Toronto failed to make it. We know this. Good for Galaxy and Nashville. Montreal, we've known that for weeks. And I don't like it. Hopefully they choke, but they're going to make me hate what they're going to do, probably. They're going to make a run and rub it in my nose. Whatever. IMO, there's more chance of Atlanta United letting Gonzalo Pineda go than there's of Toronto letting Bob Bradley go. I agree. Problem is, Bob Bradley's the one who should go. Gonzalo Pineda, he isn't horrible. I think he's just sort of getting hamstrung by the fact Bocanegra doesn't know what the hell he's doing in Atlanta. And Josef Martinez doesn't give a shit anymore because Pineda doesn't really want him. But they haven't really hit on a replacement either. Aruju's good, but it's kind of in a position if Atlanta didn't have all those great players around Josef Martinez, that's what it would have looked like back then. So probably not. That would suck, but that sucks, but not really, but and we got what, like 3 teams having their first run? Very likely so, or at least second run. LAFC on their second try, Philly on their second try, Orlando on their first, Vancouver on their second, third, but it's been a long time. None of the players on that team have the experience of 2017. And whoever wins MLS Cup, Portland's 3rd or 4th. I think if they win, it would be 3rd or 4th. I don't know if Portland fans would want to see that, but the thought of a possibly empty stadium during a CCL match by the volition of the fans, that's not a good look. Got the Cactus Plant and Flea Market Happy Meal. Got the Big Mac and Toy. Got the Hamburglar. Trying to get the Cactus one. What Cactus one? Unless you're talking about Grimace is a purple cactus, but he's not a cactus. Barney's brother, kind of. I don't know. Probably not. What up, Rory? How we doing? What up, Elias? I mean, LAFC has played, besides the last month and a half, they played really good football in MLS. Of course, I think they should win the Supporter Shield. They're a very good team. They deserve to win the Shield, and they won the Shield. I don't think there's really anything to say about them, bad about them winning the Shield. I've started to, respect LAFC a bit more, I should say. I don't completely hate them for no reason, because why would a Toronto fan hate LAFC? I mean, that is sort of a no reason thing, so I have no problem with that. First game for the Canadiens on TSN is versus Detroit, October 14th. That should be a good game. LAFC are way more chill than I thought. Exactly. Are you going to broadcast the game? It's called a live stream watch-along reaction. The game's on YouTube. CONCACAF's YouTube, I should say. And probably VIX, maybe TUDNA at this point. So, there you go. But I'm commentating it while watching it. That's what we do here. Called copyrights, not something you want to screw with. Yes. LFG, let's go Real España. In a semifinal of the CONCACAF League for the first time, making their one run in the history of this tournament count really a lot. Can they close it out with making it so that every champion of this tournament was a one-time champion? Or will Alajuelense stop that dream on their end of the bracket? Now, with that being said, Motagua could still make that dream a possibility if they beat Olympia. Because they haven't won the tournament. They've just bottled it multiple times. But wouldn't it be crazy if this was the time Motagua would finally win the CONCACAF League? The final time it ever happens. Like they bottle it like 3 times in the last 4 years and then they finally figure it out. That's sort of a fairy tale though. Ending though. Kind of. I wouldn't hate it, but at least they finally would get it. Good evening, Hans. How we doing? They gave us so much respect. They said we played well. They hope Portland makes the playoffs. I hope Portland makes playoffs too. And I want them to make an MLS Cup run, but that feels like there could be a little bit of a shit show behind that going on. Hope LA Galaxy wins MLS Cup because I want to see an El Tráfico CCL match. You know what? That wouldn't be so bad at all. I like the idea. I like it. A lot of their fans said that to us. Zadiel says, hey, Ryan, Motagua's going to win the CONCACAF League finally. I mean, it would be fitting that the final one, the final CONCACAF League, Motagua finally actually wins it instead of bottles it. We'll find out what happens tomorrow in the first leg of Olympia versus Motagua and see what... Well, no, the away goals are Olympia tomorrow, and they have the second leg at home, even though it's the same stadium. So, got to be careful. I like to see the mentality, though. That's the one thing I'm interested about, because it's the same stadium for both legs. So it's not really a mental... Like, in your head, you can't really say, oh, this is an away leg. Or this is our home leg. That's their away leg. It's like, you're like, but we're in the same stadium. This is our home stadium. I don't know where that really takes effect. Like, I think away goals could be a thing you really could forget about in the Olympia Motagua situation. I mean, that could just be me being a talking head, but I think that makes sort of sense, to tell you the truth. If it's not a true away environment, does it really feel like away goals are a thing? Or do you really feel like you're away? I would think probably not. Mentally, I think you have to... I think that change of scenery is really helpful when you know you're playing an away game. Mentally, I think that would be the case. Teams are about to walk out. They said we gave them a damn good game. One, David Mosquera is damn good. I got his autograph. Nice. Seems like Mosquera is going to be a star, so can't wait to see how that pans out. Alajuelense in the white, Real España in the red. For a team that wears red or yellow and black, they haven't worn a yellow and black kit barely in this tournament. Like, what, twice? Twice? Maybe they're getting a bit superstitious. I don't know. Maybe Real España is getting a bit superstitious. I wouldn't blame them. I would not blame them whatsoever. I wouldn't blame them. What are you trying to tell Christopher? Sell her door. See what pops up. Y'all hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let's get that one going. Real España contra Alajuelense. Alajuelense. La Liga CONCACAF. Semifinals. Partido era. How is it that Leon does amazing against Liga MX, Central American and Caribbean teams, but they choke and bottle against MLS teams? At this point, it's just got to be some sort of mental block at this point. Like, it wasn't even a mental block when it was when they were against Toronto. But at this point, it's got to be a mental block. Or LAFC was so traumatic, it was already a mental block. It makes no sense to me. But they did win the League's Cup, so is it? Could say Molero, but I don't know. You're good. I got Santi Moreno autograph, Bill Tuiloma, and Aliaz Ivicic. Nice. That's a good group of autographs for sure. I want to see Galaxy against LAFC in 2023 Champions League. Galaxy against LAFC might happen in 2023 League's Cup. Lineups are as follows. Luis Lopez, Getzel Montes, Mainon Flores, Franklin Flores, Luis Garrido, João Benavidez, Junior Lacayo, Carlos Bernardes, Ramiro Roca, Kevin Alvarez, and Jairiel Saravia for Real España. But I think it means more if it's earned. You know you're going to get 2 League El Tráficos. You know it's very likely that you're going to get an El Tráfico in League's Cup. Like, it's more likely to happen than not. You could probably bet on it and feel good about betting on it. But in Champions League, you have to earn in getting there. LAFC earned it, and he wants the Galaxy to earn it. Then they basically have to scratch and claw to get that matchup. And it can't be in the round of 16, so it's not going to be handed to you because of country protection and pots. You have to earn it by getting to the quarterfinals or later. So that's what makes it mean more when you earn it, when you scratch and claw to get that match. That's what it means more. You're going to probably be drawn together in the Open Cup. You know you're probably getting that too. Cesar Ramos is the referee tonight. The ARs, Alberto Morin and Miguel Hernandez and Marco Ortiz, the 4th official, all from Mexico. Nothing much. We're just enjoying this CONCACAF League game. One of the last bundle. The 6th to last, I guess. Well, it is the 6th to last, but you get it. Alajuelense is 11 under Fabian Coito, Leonel Moreira in goal, Ian Smith, Celso Borges, Johan Venegas, Alexander Lopez, Alexi Gamboa, Carlos Mora, Giancarlo Gonzalez, former Galaxy man, Jose Cubero, Aubrey David, and Freddy Gondola for Alajuelense, the 2020 champions, and looking for their second CONCACAF League trophy in this final tournament. On a sort of redemption tour after last season when they got crashed out to Guastatoya. Their first real challenge in this tournament so far, Alajuelenses. They dispatched Aguila, very easy. They dispatched Alianza of Panama very easily, and they also dispatched Alianza of El Salvador. Not as easy, but still easy. This is their first real challenge, their first tough challenge of this tournament so far, Alajuelense. A team that also had a pretty easy run so far. You could say both teams had a pretty easy run. Real España, easily beating Real Esteli, beating Cartagenas pretty easily, and then beating Herediano pretty easily. So, honestly, both teams first. You would say Herediano on paper was Real España's first real challenge, but you could say Real España is the better team because they have faced teams that are better than who Alajuelense have faced up to this point. You could say this is Alajuelense's more first real challenge. Here we go. Alajuelense kicks off down in Honduras. 90 minutes for this first leg. Let's see if Alajuelense takes the front foot going home, or if they have to make up a lot going home. You know, I could see that, possibly, but I think that's sort of what Leagues Cup is already. Unless, like, the best Mexican team wins Copa MX and the best MLS team wins Open Cup. I mean, if Toronto could do it, that'd be funny. But in that sort of way, I wouldn't hate it. Or if it's like an Open Cup side of the bracket where all MLS plays each other until they get to an MLS finalist, and then a Copa MX bracket, and they go down until there's one Mexican finalist, and they have their own trophies, and it's sort of like conference championships. And then you get them in the final playing for the true Leagues Cup. Yeah, I could see that maybe happening. If this current format doesn't really work out over a couple of years, I could see it. Maybe they try it. I want to see Galaxy against LAFC in 2023 Champions League. If DC, SKC, Sounders, Atlanta United, and Toronto can't get MLS Cup 2022, what makes you think that Galaxy will get it? Well, I mean, they're in the playoffs. Do you not watch the MLS playoffs? Anything can happen. The favorites never, and I mean never, besides Toronto 2020, or not 2020, Toronto 2017, the favorites don't win. They're never that dominant. MLS Cup playoffs, anybody can win. So as long as you're in there, which the Galaxy are, they can win it. It's only 4 sets of 90 minutes, maybe extra time. Yes, I do. That's why I was saying, but also you could look at it the way I did with like the 2 conference titles to lead to a final. Free kick for Al España, 0-0, 0-0. Oh, cross in. Alajuelense can clear. It goes to Lionel Moreira for the goal kick. Lionel Moreira, the Costa Rican number 2 behind Keylor Navas. Or recently has been, I should say. Throw in for Alajuelense. Cross in. Save. Picked up by Moreira. That's why I made sort of a bet in one of Ryan's other streams. I said Galaxy won't get 2022 MLS Cup. That's not how it works. They're not first in the West. They're like 6th. They're like that level. I mean, you could say it's hard for a 6th seed team to make an upset. It's normally the 4th seed team or 5th seed team that makes the run. Oh, yep. Okay, yep. It was that one. Yeah. I know what I meant is if that all professional U.S. and Mexican teams were to compete. Oh. I mean, that kind of screws up the fact there's leagues that have to go on and they're stopping the leagues for a month to play Leagues Cup. Like in July or August, or at least MLS gets stopped. Liga MX, I don't know. Cross in. Header. Cross save by Moreira. Real España's putting on some early chances. Real España is definitely showing who's boss right now. If they can hold on, this could be their tie. Foul free kick, Real España in the offensive zone, the offensive half. 0-0, 0-0. They could have easily just opened the scoring about 30 seconds ago. And Real España is just taking it back into open play. Cross in. Save by Moreira. Point blank. Could have easily spilled that and allowed that to be a goal. Real España is on fire right now. Close. Like Real España, they're at home. They're putting their best foot forward. That's out for a goal kick for Luis Lopez. The first time that Real España's goalkeeper's really been tested. CONCACAF's YouTube channel. I'm still pissed from earlier. What pissed you off? Oh, wait. Barca? Barca? It has to be Barca, right? Bayern beat... Was it Bayern beating your ass, or... I know. I think Barca... Yeah, Barca lost. Who they lose to? Was it Bayern again? Yeah, exactly. It's really hard to pull that off. Usual warmer weather here in Portland, but it's better than average today. Nice. Exactly. Yep, saw that. Rest in peace to Loretta Lynn, country music legend. Lived a long life. Still sad. Country music great. The problems from that logistics of that type of event would be insane and unbelievable. Yeah, exactly. Like, it's sort of impossible to have a double Copa MX Open Cup for Leagues Cup. It's sort of impossible. Unless you basically want to say, hey, we don't want to run MLS or Liga MX this year. You really can't do it unless you just want to run people's legs into the ground or have like some preliminary matches with like Ascenso teams and all that up until you get to your Leagues Cup. Like, you could have like qualifiers, like rounds of qualifiers, but it would be very hard to figure out how to make that work. Like, it could be progressive. Oh, it was Inter Milan. There we go. Yep. I knew. Yeah, Inter Milan. I did not expect Barca to actually lose to Inter Milan. Tell you the truth, I didn't expect it. I didn't think Inter Milan was that good right now. So I thought Barca was honestly better on paper, but Barca may just be going back to the Europa League for the second straight year. It doesn't feel as weird as it did last year, but it still sort of feels weird. Because last time Barca was, well, they were never in the Europa League when it was called Europa League until last year. It was just the UEFA Cup. But even when that happened, I was still a freaking, 4 years old, but you could say that's sort of a baby. Did you see Napoli 6-1 over Ajax? Yeah, I saw that. Napoli was amazing in that match. I was very impressed by Napoli. I've been impressed by Napoli all season. They've been playing well. Maybe Lorenzo did need to leave. It's the inverse of Bernardeschi. You know, when it comes to Juventus, Bernardeschi was never the problem. He shouldn't have left, but they pushed him out. Maybe Insigne needed to leave Napoli, and maybe he isn't that good anymore. Maybe we got shortchanged. Or Bobby Bacala is just a piece of shit. But either way, it doesn't help the fact. Still means Bernardeschi's world class because he could overcome the bullshit of Bobby Bacala. Unlike Insigne. Yeah, I agree with that. I'm not saying this year. True. See ya. 10th minute. Alajuelense is just getting owned. Alajuelense is just getting owned right now. They have no answer for Real España at all. 10 minutes in. If they keep this pretty close, that's honestly going to be a win for Alajuelense. I don't think they're winning tonight. If they could get an away goal and only lose like 2-1, that's a win for them tonight. Or if they could draw 1-1, that's honestly a win for them tonight. They need to go back to the grease board. This is some bullshit. I picked Alajuelense, and of course, can't be all perfect. I know there's still a second leg in Costa Rica. It's never over, but I said that last time. Real España played a Costa Rican team, and Johan Venegas just pushes the ball away after getting it back. Of course, yep, this is not going Alajuelense's way, but they have a breakaway here. They have actually a good breakaway. Here's a chance. Chance. Plays through. Goal! 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 Goal de Alajuelense! Freddy Gondola! Goal! 1-0! Oh my word. That is the sloppiest goal I've ever seen. But for a team getting their ass kicked, off the foot of Gondola, nutmegs the defender, and it rolls in. Lopez gets beat. It was Johan Venegas. It didn't even go off the foot of Gondola. It was Johan Venegas. Oh my word. No, it did go off Gondola's feet and through the legs of a defender. So Johan with the assist, Gondola with a goal. All right. 1-0. Freddy Gondola. Freddy Gondola. He did not mean to do that, but he'll take it. Freddy Gondola. Nil 1, 0-1, Alajuelense. Lallini got fired? What? World Cup's next month. Can't wait. Shit. You're kicking their ass, and then they do that. I did not see that coming at all. España is kicking Alajuelense's ass, and then that happens. They're ahead. I did not expect that, but sometimes you got to make your own luck. And, well, it was very unlucky by Real España, but that was very lucky by Alajuelense. Sometimes you got to do it. I don't know if that's a hat flick, and I don't know who it be on Real España. I can't really explain. Do we go with a hat flick there? I mean, I got some time to edit it up if I need to. Should I? Because honestly, though, that was not a good goal. It was a goal scored, but it was not a good goal. And now there's a fight on the touch line. Let's see. Now there's a fight on the touch line. Never mind. Talking to the referees. The referees are still discussing the goal. I think they're discussing it. Could be, actually. I don't think there's a foul there. It's a goal. It is a goal. It is a goal. It is a goal. It is 1-0 Alajuelense. 0-1. It is a goal. And they've kicked off. Had a year and a half on his contract, but he was out of Pumas, and maybe Hugo Sanchez or Tuca Ferretti are going to be manager of Pumas. I'd take Tuca, honestly. Tuca would be, yeah, that's a move. If you're going to have to replace Lallini, I'd go Tuca. Bring him back to Pumas. That's what I'd say. And Real España is trying to answer back here, but Alajuelense does have their away goal. Probably next May or June, probably. Because it's going to be somewhere in the yellow card. Yellow card for David. This game's going off the fucking rails. We're going to see. Exactly. And it looks like there's at least a free kick, if not a very close free kick. Yes, a very close free kick. Yeah, Tuca's a great coach. He made Tigres relevant and stop being an equipo chico. He's a very good coach. 15th minute. This game is honestly going off the rails. This is a good game. Definitely the craziest, but since it is a goal, I definitely may just have to go with a hat flick. I think I'd have to use the whole clip, though, so that, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not. I think that's sort of hard to do. Maybe not. And CONCACAF is really slow on their highlights anyway, so yeah. Now that I think about it. 17th minute. Here's a free kick for Real España right outside the box. Yep, I saw that. Congratulations to Aaron Judge. History. Great home run. I was kind of worried he wouldn't get it. I wanted him to see it. I wanted to see him get it. It's wrong to not, even if he is a Yankee. Cross in. It's history. If you're not rooting for history, Judge isn't a bad guy. He's a very good player. He's likable. Probably won't be a Yankee for much longer, but, you know, like, I rooted for Pujols, but I grew up watching Pujols. Like, still one of my favorite players. Grew up, he was one of my favorite players. Growing up, he was one of my favorite players. And I still love Albert. It meant a lot to see him get that history, but even then when it came to Aaron Judge, I'm not a Yankees fan. I don't like the Yankees, but Aaron Judge seems like a cool guy, and it's cool to see history like that. Hell, we're not ever going to see somebody get close to Barry Bonds. 61 is the clean record, and Judge broke that, and the American League record, and he broke that. And it got very close to the end there to where he may not have, but could also still win the Triple Crown, too, if he gets his batting average up a couple points. I think Luis Ariz is in front of him with 0.5 more on his batting average. But he's got a game and a half to take care of that. Get over Luis Ariz. Or maybe Luis Ariz just blows it, but. Mets fan, or do you just root for somebody else? Yep, NYCFC. They own 20%. Yep. And make them play at Yankee Stadium. And God knows when they're going to actually get. CONCACAF website says it was a Venegas goal, but yeah, I'll say he got the assist. Yep. A rare thing happened today. Kuwait played a friendly versus their U23 squad in hockey. 3 minutes, second period, face-off right, off face-off, U23 team, one-timer for the right circle. Oh, that's amazing. Oh, my. That's a good play. Straight off the face-off, the right circle. Wonderful. That is wonderful. Like, that is amazing. That is amazing. 19th minute. 0-1. That is amazing. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, Leafs, sign that kid up. Hey, Leafs, sign that kid up. Why not? I mean, hell, we barely use our prospects anyway. It's good to give somebody a shot. Shit. Tuca's a good coach. That's not what we need right now at Pumas. But also mean that's what we need now at Pumas, because this Pumas squad doesn't give a fuck, and Tuca Ferretti will straighten these players up. Exactly. I think Tuca's a better decision than Hugo Sanchez, but maybe Pumas goes out of their realm as well. So we'll see. Be very interesting to see. We got a couple of months. So I'm going to follow this one. I think that'll be interesting. I think the League's Cup will be pretty big. Pretty big. Cleared away. Be a corner kick for Real España. I think it'll be pretty big. I think it's going to get a lot more viewership, bring a lot of people to that MLS app on Apple TV. And it's going to be a big, and I guess TUDNA as well, because it's still got to be in Spanish. So if you're going to watch it on regular TV, I guess TUDNA. But I think for a good portion, cross in, punched away by Moreira. I think it's going to be good for the Grove. I think it's a big event that we haven't seen the likes of in this country. I think, or even Canada, I think it's a big event that is going to do a lot for the growth of the sport. Maybe is it because of the Mexican fans' atmospheres in the U.S. stadiums? Maybe it will be, but I think people will get behind the Leagues Cup, the new Leagues Cup. I think people will get behind it, which also sort of adds intrigue into Champions League because people qualify for Champions League through that tournament. So who knows? Maybe it helps that as well. CONCACAF says it's Venegas too. They changed it. Well, I mean, I'm going to touch on them anyway. But it still went off Gondola's foot, so I'll just talk about them both. I think it'll do good. Yeah. NYCFC is playing at Red Bull Arena during the playoffs. I bet that pisses off BKL. I mean, shouldn't be horrible. Thoughts on Luis Suarez joining the Galaxy after the World Cup? It's a good move. I wonder what that does. I don't know if that dispossesses or displaces Chicharito or that will displace Joveljic. Cross past the post. That'll be a corner kick. I don't know what it does. I'd say probably Joveljic is in trouble there. We'll see what happens. I think Luis Suarez will be that sort of Zlatan-type striker. He won't be Zlatan, but I think with Chicharito, if that's the case, them as double strikers, Chicharito could be more like a Pavon in the sense of Suarez is more of the finisher. But if Chicharito could score, he could score. And Pavon could score as well. But I think it fits a lot better when it comes to the fact that Suarez is more of the finisher and more of the tough shithouser type guy. And Chicharito's like, he could score, but he's better holding up, better at making plays as well as scoring. So if that's the situation, which I think that'd be pretty smart, Galaxy could run two strikers if they want to. I think they sort of kind of do that at times. I think maybe they should take that as a sign and run two strikers. Even though it's Chicharito's option year, I don't think they're going to offload him just because they got Suarez. As long as they don't have to. So it could be interesting. Nick Robertson should make the team for Leafs. He should, I agree. Great player. Goal for Caulfield, 4-3, 40 goals, calling it now. I think he'll get it. I think Caulfield will get 40. Why would a Kuwait hockey player be in Canada? I was saying if a dude could score off the face-off from the right circle at U23, I say the Leafs should sign him as a prospect. I never. Freaking Marner couldn't do that. I ain't seen it. And Marner's like this freaking amazing player to everybody. And I ain't seen him do what you said that UAE player did. So I'm just saying, can't hurt signing that U23 UAE player to the Marlies or the Newfoundland Growlers and see what happens there. Can't hurt. Can't hurt. That's what I was trying to say. Cross in. Also, haven't you noticed that it's Skipper saying puro pinche Pumas? I mean, if you want me to say it, I could say it. They play almost in local games versus themselves. Be interesting. I think the Galaxy will sell Joveljic Well, I know what Toronto FC should do. Shit can Io Akinola and get Dejan Joveljic. And who knows, maybe he becomes a striker over Jesus Jimenez if Jesus doesn't get his confidence back next year. But Jesus still has potential in my eyes to be great. Io, on the other hand, he is shit. Io has lost it. I don't know what the hell. I know he tore his ACL, but nowadays people come back from that pretty easily, a.k.a. Tom Brady and others. Maybe Io is going down the Derrick Rose line. I don't know. Maybe he is. But because Derrick Rose never really came back from an ACL injury, but that was still like 10 years ago. We've made strides in 10 years. Alajuelense, Venegas, and he gets pushed and no foul. I don't think that would work out. Joachim Löw as a Liga MX coach? This man fell off that bad. Ugh. No. He would get beat. The way he plays football, shit, he'd get beat every week. And Liga MX, some idiot directivo would be like, the name though. And it would only last about... He would do worse than the frickin' Cruz Azul coach did. The one they just got after Reynoso. He would last even less long than that Cruz Azul coach did. And it was, about 10 weeks? 9-10 weeks? Yeah. Joachim Löw would only last about 5 in Liga MX. Like, the way he plays football, his teams are going to get ripped apart. Can't wait to see Necaxa hire him. Shit. Or Juarez. You're getting what you asked for if you do that. I don't know. 5-4. And the Galaxy are going to try to sell Efrain. Alajuelense, here's a chance. Shot, blocked away, back to Venegas, and he screws it up. Still Alajuelense, foul. Free kick, 28th minute. I think, Tuca can. My viewpoint is support the boys no matter what, but I'm certainly not happy about it. Worse still, our pre-allocated seats in RBA really suck. It would pay more premium season ticket holders seating. Love would get whatever team he coached in the Mexican third division. Good thing there's no more relegation. And they'll probably never open it up again. I'm talking about the guy before the interim. Whatever his name was. He was so bad, I forgot his name. All I know is he got sacked pretty expeditiously. After winning Campeón de Campeones, no less. Yes, worse. Very worse. Like, he was the reason Germany went to shit for that period of time. About 2016 to 2021. He was the reason. Look at Hansi Flick. Look at Hansi Flick's Germany. They're back to what they were before Joachim Löw went to shit. That's all I'm saying. Here comes Alajuelense. Here's a chance in through. Side netting. Yeah, I'm going to watch the last game. I watch them all. Is it going to be a waste of 90 minutes? Yes, it will be. Am I covering it? Yep. Is it going to be fun? Am I watching it? Yep. Is it going to be fun? No. Are we going to get skull drug? Probably. Or are we going to pull a or somehow we may just pull a Mississippi State Mike Leach era and win a game we shouldn't win. In some crazy way. At that point, I don't know if I want to see that happen, but I guess part of me does, but this team does not deserve to have that hope given to them with a great decision day win after being out of the playoffs by getting owned with a 4-goal loss 3 weeks in a row and then giving up a 1-0 loss the next time they play. They sort of shot themselves in the foot against Miami, but nonetheless. That away kit isn't too bad. Like, that away kit kind of reminds me of the Timbers Rose City kit, but the Mexico away kit is nice. Benavidez gets a yellow, even though I like the home kit, the green home kit better. If I bought one from this run, it'd probably be the green home kit. Will Orlando win versus Miami, and will Crew win same day? Orlando will beat Miami. Who's the Crew play? Then again, the Crew's going to screw something up. Well, no, if they're playing Jason Russell Rowe, though. Oh, wait, no, they can't. Maybe 30 minutes. I think the Crew, personally, I think they'll screw something up. I think they'll probably draw late. Joaquim Love is thinking about becoming a Liga MX coach because he cannot find any other team to coach. Another reason he was extremely impressed with Mexican football when Mexico beat Germany in 2018. Saved by Luis Lopez, and that's out for a goal kick. 31st minute, 0-1. Alajuelense is getting better since they've scored that goal. But I still think Real España is the better team slightly. But Alajuelense has definitely put more on since they've scored that goal. It seems like they've grown into the game. Very much so. Pushed away. If he went down, that would have been a penalty. Got it from the official Adidas website. So real, okay. Nice. Shot! Oh, past the post, but that was a laser. I thought maybe Lopez tried with a laser. I went to the last Toronto FC home game last weekend. Hopefully it was fun. Hopefully it was a fun one. I heard some people booed Pozuelo, though. That pissed me off. Why would people boo Alejandro Pozuelo? Are you stupid? I don't think that's right. I don't think it's right at all. Dude was an MVP. I don't think you should boo him. Almost won us a Shield. Almost won us an MLS Cup. Gondola is a good player. Yeah, I agree. Freddie Gondola is a very good player. I don't know how Luis Suarez and Chicha are going to play with each other. They're the same player. I think Suarez is more of a shithouser, sort of Zlatan style. I think you can make it work. I would rip my hair out. Like, that's replacing Jimbo Fisher with, like, Dan Mullen. Or Jimbo Fisher with Scott Frost. You're replacing one shit coach where their system has been expired since 2014 with another shit coach with a probably worse system that expired in 2010. No, still 2014, but it's somehow more spoiled. You know? I don't know how to explain it, but I'd rip my hair out. That's what it seems like. I would guess it's Bray. I would guess it's a return of Bray Wyatt. I don't see what else it could be. Unless, like, the only other person would be, they already had Karrion Kross return, so that's out. Well, no, Andy Reid's actually a good coach, though. Two substitutions for Real España already. Maya for Garrido and Baez. They're really making two substitutions already. What are you doing? Are they really think they're screwed? That's how quick this game turned? All right. Baez to Bernardes. Baez for Bernardes. Maybe it was 2 injuries. Bob McAdoo. Ugh. I'm not even a Giants fan. That's just, no. No. Alajuelense has a chance, and that was horrible. Yeah, the Bishop Sycamore coach is a very big fraud because the whole school was a fraud. But Andy Reid, like, that's not the point. When I was making the Jimbo Fisher comparison, Jimbo Fisher is a shit coach. Just like Dan Mullen and Scott Frost are. And I guess Logan using the name of Ben McAdoo as well. There you go. Like, more like taking Matt Rule and swapping him for Bishop Sycamore's head coach. It could be worse, but it's still going to suck. Bond, more like that. There we go. Bond, Edwards, Williams, Dupuis, Araujo, Delgado, Raveloson, Vasquez, Jovelich, Cabral, Chicharito. That'd be mine. That would be mine. I saw that. I saw the jacket. That was nice. I like it. I like it. Ever since 2014, Bobby Bacala and Joaquim Love have been frauds. They're such horrible coaches that Berhalter, Tata, and even Paul Hall are better than them. Plays over the bar by Real España. Paul Hall is better than Berhalter and Tata, but okay, no, that may not work after what just happened with Jamaica, but oh no. He did pretty well against Mexico in the Nations League and Suriname. You know what? Yeah. Berhalter and Tata are still better than Joaquim Love or Bob Bradley. I mean, Jovelich isn't. Wait, you just called Marky Delgado shit? And Raheem? Well, yeah, of course. And Victor Vasquez? Oh, Ricky Pooch. Ah, I forgot. Sorry, I forgot about Ricky Pooch. I don't know why I did. Sorry. Back to the midfield. Delgado, Pooch, Vasquez. There you go. And you know what? Actually, no, Raveloson should start, though. Raveloson, Jovelich, Chicharito. There we go. That's what I was. There we go. No Cabral. There we go. Let me do it like this. Hold on. Bond, Edwards, Williams, Dupuis, Araujo, Delgado, Puig, Ricky Pooch, Victor Vasquez, Raveloson. Oh, you sold Raveloson. Shit. I forgot about that. Damn it. Who was I thinking of then? I don't know. That was scatterbrains. I guess Cabral, Jovelich, Chicharito. I spaced out for a minute there. I agree. As you can tell, I spaced out because I used your shit center backs. At least I didn't say Zavaleta. Yeah, I agree with that. I did not want to say Zavaleta. That would be good. You know, but Adam Rose, how would Leo Kruger be the White Rabbit? Because that certainly does. Oh. Yeah, but that. Would you ever go to a futsal game? Yeah. No. He could return as Leo Kruger. I mean, this is Triple H's WWE. And then you could, sort of retcon the Adam Rose stuff with, some sort of esoteric story of him becoming Adam Rose if he wanted to. I mean, you could totally do that. Some Triple H can pull off. You could totally do that. 40th minute. Besides, I think he'd probably consider working under Triple H. Consider it. You may be retired, but you're never truly retired in pro wrestling. And besides, Triple H gives him a chance to play his Leo Kruger gimmick on the main roster. I think that would get over, and I think people want to see it. So that would be nice. I don't think that's the case, but who knows? You could sort of retcon it too. 41st minute. Yes. Yes. I want them to. I think Triple H could let the forbidden door be opened. I think he would consider it. I mean, they were honestly kind of considering it when they were trying to re-sign Daniel Bryan, letting him have a run in Japan, and that was under Vince. So I definitely think. I think it's likely. It's very likely that a WWE wrestler under WWE's employ could have a run in Japan, in New Japan. The forbidden door be open under Triple H. I think it'll happen. Not next year, but by 2025. Oh, Gaston Brugman. That's what I was. Okay, yeah, there we go. Bond, Julian Araujo, Martin Caceres, Edwards, Koulibaly, Gaston Brugman, Puig, Delgado, Costa, Grandizier. That's who I was thinking of. I was thinking Grandizier. There we go. And Chicharito. So I confused Grandizier with Raveloson. That's what I did. Yep. That's a better 11 than mine. If I was looking at the roster, that probably would have been my 11, but I was trying to do it off the top of my head. See? And I was already spacing out a bit. So I kind of forgot about Martin Caceres and Ricky Puig because it was so close to the end of the season, I have to admit. I'll admit that. Here comes Alajuelense. Here's a chance. Plays through. Could they score a second? No. Saved by Lopez. 43rd minute. 0-1. I would love to see it, though. Not much. Just enjoying this game. Dejan is a super sub like Alan Gordon. There we go. Fanta Colita. Ooh, that sounds interesting. Maybe if I go to Costa Rica, maybe I'll have to try that. But I like Coca-Cola Vanilla. I like Mountain Dew Code Red. I do like Fanta. Mexican Fanta is better than American, though. I remember when I went down to Mexico when I was 5, went down to Playa del Carmen and Cozumel. That I had like 3 like while I was down there. And I think I had one, like I bought like 1 or 2 Mexican Fantas for like when we had to hunker down for Hurricane Emily. Maybe that's where I had one of them. But that was good. Those are good. So Mexican Fanta is up there, but I just haven't had it since I was 5. Say, what about the ones they sell it? Mexican Coca-Cola is crack. They may actually put Coke in that Coke. I have no idea. Probably, I don't know, frankly. Canada's results weren't bad. If you actually watch the matches, they beat Qatar. They had a pretty tough match against Uruguay. I don't know why people are so hard on Canada, but player down for Alajuelense in the España box. They come out with a stretcher, 45th minute. I don't think every CONCACAF team will choke and bottle. They'll probably play better than what we saw. even the USA. But that England-USA group is honestly a race to the bottom. It's going to be crazy because it's so chaotic. USA's a different thing. The Indonesian, the Indonesian soccer fans fight. Stampede, yeah, I saw that. That's not, Diego Chara is a nice guy. Great guy. Seems like an awesome guy. He is, but he seems like it and he is, so that's nice. Paul Burchill? More of a... I like Paul Burchill, but that's just that's a stretch. The Pirate, that's a stretch. Fantocolito is a mix of Tutti Frutti, vanilla, and bubblegum. I think he'd love it. Well, whenever I go down to Costa Rica, because God knows I will at some point, whether it's a Toronto versus Saprissa game or it's just a CONCACAF League match that I choose to jet set for, yeah, I'll try it. And if I like it, maybe I'll buy 6 and take them home. And then hate it when I run out until I go back. Or maybe 8. I'm just going to buy a case. See if I can put these. Worth a shot. Maybe I have to take them through customs, but shit, worth a shot. Depends on how the playoff games come down or how they set up. I will, unless it's on the first Saturday of the playoffs, I will talk about it at least and review it, if not go live for it. It depends on how the schedule sets up. Now, on the Saturday playoff start, I'm getting a haircut in the middle of like the first game. So I can't do the first game live. So what's going to happen is the second game on that Saturday is the first one I cover, live and RSR. So as long as you're not the first game of the first round weekend, I will talk about the Galaxy. Whether it's live or RSR, I don't know. But as long as you're 2 through 6, I'll talk about it. Exactly. We can potentially play you if we win at RSL. Playoffs over haircut. It's not my fault. Here's the thing. I don't want to go back to great clips. Fuck that shit. That was horrible. That shit, I did not like it. It was sort of not the way I normally like it anyway. The person I normally go to does the busted fade the way I like it. It's always right. And, well, that's the only one open for I need a haircut, and it's the only one that's open for like 2 weeks. It was either that or go back to great clips. Because when I had to have my haircut for when I went down to Mississippi for you know what happened. The person I normally get my haircut from was out. So there's no real barbers where I am. There's no real barbers where I am. None. I don't want to go to St. Louis, or at least in my area. Belleville, no real barbers. O'Fallon, no real barbers. Edwardsville, no real barbers. I ain't going over to St. Louis for a real barber. Here's the problem, though, is at some point when I do move up to Toronto, I'm going to have to find another hair place anyway. So maybe I should stop giving a shit about how perfect it is and being sort of miffed if it's not perfect, because I'm going to have to figure out how it. Maybe a real barber would be good up there, and I'm sure hopefully there is. Hopefully there is. But there ain't no real barbers down here. Do you think a busted fade wouldn't be hard, though? I don't know. What was your previous comment? I was that the Mexico did amazing against Colombia in the first half, but we choked and bottled in the second half. And it's halftime. El Gordo being El Gordo. Yeah, I think so. Sports Clips is where I always go for a haircut. Good for you. So you understand my situation, do you? The person who's been cutting my hair has been doing it since 2012? About a decade? Yeah. So you understand my situation. Also the same person that colors my mom's hair, but you know. Again, no real barbers around here. I can't go to a barber shop like from Caddyshack and, you know. Toronto, I'm sure there are places like that. Here, at least in this Illinois side of the river, no, there's not. Well, that being said, it's halftime. 0-1, 0-1 for Alajuelense. Got a bit lucky for that goal. Don't know. CONCACAF any songs iconic. Yeah, all their themes are pretty iconic. But halftime, 0-1, 1-0 for Alajuelense. Got pretty lucky with their goal, but they have the away goal. They have a chance to push to shut this one out in another 45 minutes. They've turned the game around. They've grown into it, and they've been dominating since about the 30th minute, and they're holding on. Let's see what happens in the second half. Sit tight, be back for the stats at the half. And all that, sit tight, be back. We're back. Hey, it worked out once on a Tuesday. Nice. It worked out. All right. Stats are as follows at the half: 9 shots to 4, 4 shots on target to 1, but that one for Alajuelense was a goal, pretty luckily. 2 steals to 5, 3 fouls to 8, 58% possession to 42% possession, 1 offside to 2, 1 corner to 0, 164 correct passes to 80, 6 incorrect passes to 26, 170 passes to 108, 96% pass accuracy to 75, 4 yellows to 1, no red cards on either side, but Alajuelense is leading 1-0, 0-1 on the night with the away goal. If they can hold on, they would have a lead and an away goal going on home. And I think that would be their tie. They could just keep playing like this for another 90 plus 45. 90, 110, 20, 30, 135 minutes. Rest of this tie. That being said, Alajuelense has been the better team ever since they scored that scrappy goal in the first half. They've grown into the game. They started to dominate it. Took about 15 minutes to score that scrappy goal, and then about 10 more minutes to grow into the game. Around the 25th minute, they really started dominating, which is why the stats still skew a little bit towards Real España. But for a while there, Real España were dominating Alajuelense, and they were bound to score. Like, they almost scored like 3 times. They should have, I should say. But Alajuelense weathered that storm, got a very lucky goal. It counted. And then they started going to the game, started to go their way, started to dominate and push it through. They have the away goal. It'd be great if they go back home without allowing Real España to score or win. Even if they draw 1-1 with the away goal, ain't that hard to deal with as long as you... Well, no, if you do draw at home, a draw or a win would put you through if you have... No, actually, no, a win, but no, it wouldn't. Actually, if you do the math, sorry. But if they win if it's a 0-1, 0-2 win, even if they draw, they will go to home with 2-0. Here's some halftime highlights. Yep, Blue Jays versus Mariners in Toronto. By the way, I'll be going live for Game 1 because why the hell not on Friday? I'll be going live for Game 1. As I should. So. And I'll be scoring it with 2 scorecards, and then after the game's over, when I review it, I'll have like a card with like a scoring summary and all that to make the review a bit easier. But I will be live for the Game 1 of the wild card, and I'll review it on Friday because I should, shouldn't I? I should. Alek Manoah, most likely starting for the Blue Jays. He should. I think he is starting for the Jays, but I guess Robbie Ray's going Game 3. Game 2 or 3. Is it Robbie Grossman, I think, Game 1, isn't it? For the Mariners? Grossman, Manoah. Robo en el Morazón gol el evidente position Atalanta. Yeah, I agree with that. It's a good sign. It shows the version WWE that Hunter is making can keep a lot of folks guessing, even longtime fans like Ryan. Exactly. Randy Orton's barber got to be the greatest because he got to do a great job in order to not take out RKOs out of nowhere. You're right about that. But I will be. So Friday, Blue Jays versus Mariners, Game 1. Be doing live in RSR. Thursday off. Saturday, Mississippi State versus Arkansas, live. Arkansas at Mississippi State live in RSR. Then Sunday, of course, decision day, Toronto versus Philadelphia live. Hopefully 2 of those are wins. I don't think the TFC will win, but who knows? Jarritos or Code Red Mountain Dew? Code Red Mountain Dew. EY. One more guess. I'm going to admit a wild guess, and it's a stretch. Eric Young. Yes, I realize that Eric was already in WWE. You know what, though? I could see it. Like, EY, his gimmick definitely could go that Cloud Cuckoo Lander that he could be White Rabbit. You know, I don't hate the guess. I don't know if it's the most likely, but I don't hate the guess. It's better than Burchell. I like EY. I think he's a great worker. Sanity was a very good stable, and then they kind of screwed that over. But, again, good character work and sanity. So I think personally he definitely could do the same sort of character work with White Rabbit. So I could see it. I could actually see it. I could see it. Not the best guess, but I could definitely see it. More likely than Burchell, for sure. Or Adam Rose, for that matter. / Leo Kruger. So I could see that guess, actually. Jarritos busting, no cap, bro. I've never had Jarritos. I've never had it. I've never had it. Actually. Yeah, I could do that. I could put the scorecards here. I just haven't had it. I just haven't had Jarritos. I've not had it. Hold on. But actually, I'm marking those scorecards. Yeah, that actually could work. Put it on the or I could put it on the folder actually. Hey, the truth. Yeah, I could just go with them. Yep. Marking the scorecards. Yeah. There we go. We got it set up. Ready. Makes sense. I got a feeling that it's not Bray Wyatt. To me, that'd be too obvious. I mean, it sort of seems like it could be Bray, but there's definitely a possibility that's not. But if you look in the clues, it's sort of gotten pretty obvious because I think there was a picture of Alexa on the last clue. The QR code took people to a picture of Alexa betraying Bray. And it had the coordinates to Wells Fargo Center, which is where Extreme Rules is being held. So at this point, maybe that's just to throw people off the scent. You have a point. But maybe you're right. That makes it too obvious. But then again, that reverse voice clip definitely doesn't seem like some Bray Wyatt would say. So you have a point. There's things that say it could be, but there's things that say it may not be. Barcelona's fans were mad today. They think they got robbed by the referee in UEFA, and they're starting to talk about conspiracies. It's funny, though, because when they're robbed, they don't talk about it. They were robbed, but I guess the money just ain't going to UEFA no more. UEFA don't want them to be UEFA no more because they ain't giving them the money. Second half's about to start. Have you seen Zion from this year and last year? Zion Williamson? I mean, I think he looks better this year so far. That's what you're talking about. Blues winning 3-0 over the Wild, as they should be. The Blues are honestly a Stanley Cup contender. Like, no joke. Substitute for Real España, Yeltsin Maya, on for Real España at the half. Yeah. 15 for 12, so it's for Junior Lacayo for Maya. Yep. And here we go. Kickoff for the second half. Real España to kick off and try to find an answer here or a winner. A winner plus an answer. Yellow card for diving, yeah, and they take the penalty away if VAR existed. But that's kind of what made VAR happen was the Iron Robin no head up penal in the 2014 Mundial. So that's kind of what made VAR happen. Sadly enough, that's the bittersweet portion. But he dived, and if there was VAR, he definitely would have got a yellow for it. Maybe even, I don't know. Red's kind of stretching it, but the penalty would have been taken away And he would have gotten a yellow for diving for sure. What team in CONCACAF would you like to see play in CCL? Well, besides Toronto FC, of course. I would like to see, well, of course, St. Louis City at some point playing CCL when it would have been nice if STL City 2 could somehow make a run to win Open Cup and then get in, but they didn't do it. I was kind of hoping Sacramento would win Open Cup. So that's like a recent answer. No subs for Alajuelense. But St. Louis, I think that was the point. Yeah. It seems to me like no head up penal was the main reason why VAR was starting to be brainstormed and created. I think that is the case. They won't come out and completely say it, but I think that's when it really started getting brainstormed was no head up penal. I would think that was the case. Took a couple of years. Took another 4 years for it to be implemented, but actually, no. I think 2017 MLS was when it got implemented as a trial, and then the 2018 World Cup had it. So 3 more years, but I mean, Vince will at least be inducted into the Hall of Fame, it sounds like, next year, as he should be. '48th minute. Alajuelense playing forward. Starting the half a bit questionable, just like they started the game, but we'll see what happens. Oh. With that being said, 48th minute. AI got to be in charge of the VAR in order to be fair. The human element's always going to create controversy, but FIFA loves that. I agree. I think VAR would be better if it was controlled by AI. I agree with that. You know what? Yeah. I think they would have. I think Mexico would have made it to the final because they would have had to play Costa Rica in the quarters. Quinto partido. And which side of the bracket? This was Germany, Brazil. It was Argentina and Germany, so it was Argentina versus Holland. I think Mexico was honestly, in 2014, that World Cup, I think the 2014 Mexico was better than Argentina. So you know what? Damn it, yeah. If they beat Holland, if they beat Netherlands, they would have made it to the final. They would have made it to the final. Yeah, I think so. I think they were better. Throw in. But if you think about it, honestly, no, waving flag, then Waka Waka. Waving flag by Kanon, then Waka Waka by Shakira. But top 2, for sure. Header in! Save! 51st minute. I agree with that. if you think about it, though, one of the Fiend's Firefly Funhouse characters was Ramblin' Rabbit. Maybe that's where White Rabbit comes from. Think about it. There's a connection here. Even if White Rabbit is not the Fiend, there's a connection there. I mean, if you think about it. If you think about it. 51st minute, free kick. Yeah, that's definitely a foul. Free kick, yep. 0-1, 0-1, Alajuelense. I'd say it's more of a Real España second half so far. Just like the early part of the first half. Cross in. Header. If Mexico was still playing like how they did it 2018 and 2014, Gonzalo Higuain was a fraud, just like Chris Wondolowski. If you look at their group, though, let me get it all the way back. Here we go. If you look at Mexico's group, cross-in header, if they won their group, they play the runner-up of Group D, which would probably be Denmark. And if they win their group, or if they runner-up, they probably play France. I honestly think if Mexico was playing like 2018 and 2014, they could beat France. Then, yeah, they could probably get to the semifinals if they were playing like they were in 18 and 14. Sadly enough, they aren't. Real España, semifinals. France and France. Can USA play Mexico in this World Cup? Yes. If USA wins, depending on what side of the bracket, if they're both on the same side of the bracket and runners up in their groups, they could play. Or if they both win their groups and win their round of 16 matches, they can play each other. So, yes, it's possible in a quarterfinal. If both get to El Quinto Partido and they play on the same side of the bracket. Anything deeper, and it's probably not likely. Well, it's not likely for it to be a final, let's put it like that. But it's possible. It's possible. How's the game going between these teams, including the first half? First half, Real España dominated early. Alajuelense scored a lucky, scrappy goal. They started to grow into the game and dominate it. Then at the start of the second half so far, España has honestly dominated the start of this second half, just like they dominated the start of the game. It remains to be seen if Alajuelense grow back into it or if they're just parking the bus and trying to hold this away goal and the 1-0 win. We'll see, though. I think so, too. I agree with that. Lionel Madera doesn't like to answer journalist questions in Costa Rica because they always ask him about his mistakes. I think journalists like to bully some players to get tabloid news. I agree, but I think it's also a situation of the fact that Lionel Madera is not Keylor Navas, you know? I think it's also a situation of he's not perfect, but Keylor Navas pretty much is. And then when you have Lionel Moreira playing a game, such as the Canada game in Edmonton, he was sort of the reason that Canada won that game because he spilled that ball. Jonathan David scores. Like, I think it is bullying, so to speak, for them to ask Moreira about his mistakes. But, I mean, hell, Navas makes mistakes, just not very regularly. But I think they are sort of bullying Moreira for not being Navas. So, I mean, there's a point to it, and I get it, but or not a point to it, but I understand the thought process, but I do think they sometimes take it too far. But there are mistakes where you could rightfully ask. And there's mistakes that he's made where you could rightfully ask. So, 56th minute. He isn't Keylor Navas, but if that's his sin, I don't think that's right to basically just tell him, hey, you're not Keylor Navas. I think that's basically what they're doing. Sort of. You know, I think that's kind of what the situation is, and I think that's sort of unfair. I think it's very unfair. Because, no, it's very unlikely that Costa Rica has another goalkeeper in their history or in the future history that's ever as good as Keylor Navas is or was. Aaron Judge was made 62 and he's finished just now. He's on the bench and taking a rest today and tomorrow. Or tomorrow. So he's probably not going to win Triple Crown unless Ice just blows it. Thoughts about Messi going back to Barca? He ain't going back. Yeah, exactly. He's not going back. I mean, 2014, Mexico did go through on the playoff and then make the World Cup. And then they had a freaking great World Cup. So really, they could. They've sort of not really reflected their eliminatoria form in the World Cup, in the Mundial. So it's possible. It's possible they do. Problem is Tata sucks as a manager, so maybe that's the difference. But at least you have that little hope to hold on to until it goes kaboom. That their eliminatoria form is not their Mundial form. Cross in, Real España, punched away by Moreira. Sure, why not? Sure, why not? Punched away by Moreira. That'll be a corner. Real España definitely having the better second half so far. 58th minute. Cross in, blocked away. Alajuelense can play it forward. Goes back to midfield. And it's still with Real España. I think Alajuelense is starting to park the bus a bit. I have a feeling. I think they're parking the bus. They want the away goal at the very least. Or they want a draw. They want to win, but they probably won't be angry with a draw. They have the away goal. Venegas. No foul. He's in through. Shot. Goal. 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 Goal de Alajuelense. Goal de la Liga. Goal de Venegas. Goal. 2-0. 2-0. Holds up the ball, takes the run in through, onside, and bangs it to the far post. Johan Venegas. He scores. Makes it 2-0, and that should do it. And that's an actual Venegas goal. There is no rebound there. Alajuelense scores on the break. Alajuelense scores on the break, and that should do it for this game. A 2-0 lead on the road. 2 away goals. 59th minute. And that should do it. And I think that's 1 foot into the final for Alajuelense, but it's not over until Costa Rica's over, but that's definitely being in the catbird seat. I simmed the MLB playoffs on MLB The Show, and it was Dodgers versus the Blue Jays, and Dodgers won the World Series in 7 games. I could see that as a possibility if this wasn't Albert Pujols' final season. Fabian Coito gets criticized a lot by La Liga fans because sometimes Alajuelense plays like they're parking the bus. I mean, hey, if it works out for you. No, the Real España coach is Hector Vargas, not Pedro Choglio. Maybe Hector Vargas did coach Olympia before, but that's not Pedro Choglio is what I'm trying to say. Real España's coach is Hector Vargas, is what CONCACAF says. Here's a third chip. Goal! Gol! 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 Gol del Alajuelense! Gol de la Liga! 3-0! 3-0! Celso Borges! Celso Borges! The legend! Celso Borges! 3-0! What a chip! Celso Borges! Boom! Off the break again. Chips. Luis Lopez. Celso Borges. Oh my word. Oh, there you go. 3-0 Alajuelense. Uruguay's way of parking the bus is unique and creative. Yeah. I think Alajuelense is kind of similar to that as far as I've seen. 62nd minute. Now it's the 61st minute for Borges. I think personally, unless tomorrow Olympia come out to a big lead against Motagua, I think maybe Tuesday's live in RSR is just Motagua, Olympia, Motagua. Because I think this is 3 away goals. This is over. Unless Real España score a goal, this is over. Over. I think Real España, their Cinderella story is over. In CONCACAF League, at least. They still do have a Champions League berth, and they could still have more of a new chapter, but this CONCACAF League chapter, the Cinderella story, is over. It's about to strike midnight. Because I don't see them coming back in Costa Rica. I do not see it. Alajuelense are dominating this tie, just like they've dominated everybody else through this whole tournament. It may not have been a perfect domination, but they've scored enough goals. And they haven't allowed Real España to score. This is what it is. Exactly. La Liga is demonstrating all of its quality in this game. They're doing what Herediano and Cartagenas couldn't do in previous games. I agree with that. On these two teams, who could be a DP in MLS? Johan Venegas. I say Johan Venegas. Johan Venegas. Freddie Gondola. I don't know if he's a DP, but there we go. There was like a midge flying around my head. A gnat. Got it. Sort of noticed it, I bet. Celso Borges, he's a little bit too old to be a DP, but he could do some for an MLS team if he wanted to. But Johan Venegas, I still think he could be a DP in MLS. I know he failed with Montreal and Minnesota. I know he did, but I think he's gotten better in Costa Rica. Striker. Winger, striker. He could play both. I'd be fine with him in Toronto. I would be. I like Johan Venegas. Wouldn't it be crazy if he chose to play for the other side of the 401 derby after playing for Montreal? I mean, it's happened before. But Freddie Gondola, I think he could be a DP in MLS. He's a lot more of a younger player, but he's got talent. More of a winger / number 10. Doesn't help Toronto, though, because we got 2 great world-class, wingers, so it doesn't really matter, but I think he could. Over on the Real España side of things, not really. I think throughout this tournament, they're all TAM players at best. Luis Lopez, you really don't want to have a DP goalkeeper. I think you can get away. I mean, hell, LAFC got away with signing him without it. So I think really just Venegas and Gondola probably, personally. That would be crazy. I'd like it. Oh, that would be crazy, but I don't think they would. Yeah, I agree with that. I could see that. La Liga, Alajuelense players are motivated. They want to give Brian Ruiz at least one more title. They're also playing against Saprissa in the semifinals of our tournament. How about get them both? And I love how his farewell game against, is it FC20? FC20? I think it's FC20, right? Is the day before the World Cup final. And I saw Alajuelense fans in the comments of that announcement of Brian Ruiz with that testimonial farewell game was like, but what if Costa Rica is still playing the World Cup final? They're not. It'd be crazy if they made it, but I don't think they'd go that deep to where that game is in any danger. And I think Alajuelense knows that deep down as well. Who knows? Maybe I'll try to figure out a way to cover that game, though. I'm not going to lie. That if I have Tigo Sports and Fubo at that point, maybe they'll show it. And you know what? Maybe I should cover it. I don't know. Why not? Could be interesting. What's your prediction for Liga MX Repechaje? Cruz Azul versus León, Tigres versus Necaxa, Toluca versus Juárez, Puebla versus Chivas. I got León over Cruz Azul. I got Tigres over Necaxa. I got Toluca over Juárez. And I got Chivas over Puebla. Boom. 2 substitutions for Alajuelense in the 67th minute. I picked Alajuelense to win this tie, and well, damn it, it looks like I was right. I didn't know they'd be this dominant, though. I thought it'd be a bit closer, but right now, Bernard Alfaro on for Mora, and Suarez, Aaron Suarez. Oh, there looks like somebody getting pissed. For Alexander Lopez. Suarez for Lopez. My World Cup final prediction is Argentina versus France. Argentina wins. Messi gets his World Cup trophy. I think it's going to be... if it's going to be Messi in the World Cup final, I'd rather it be Argentina versus Portugal. I think that would be a crazy World Cup final. That would be like Reyes for Alvarez for Real España as a substitute. It is against 20. Journalists are making bad comments about that decision. The possibility of Costa Rica getting into the World Cup final is low. They always criticize Brian Ruiz a lot. Brian Ruiz is a legend. I don't know why you criticize him. I mean, maybe that's just the journos being journos. I have absolutely no idea. Maybe that's just journos being journos. Maybe that's what they think their job is in Costa Rica. I didn't know it was that. Then again, in Mexico, it's very toxic. The journos are very toxic. Maybe it's the same way in other Spanish-speaking countries. Hispanic, Central American countries, maybe. Maybe it's the same. I don't know. But I don't know why you disrespect a legend like that. I don't know why. Or criticize a legend like that. If he deserves it, I get it. But I don't think Brian Ruiz has really ever deserved criticism, personally. I don't think things have been his fault. You could pin it all on him. I mean, of course, you're probably going to have more of an inkling to pin it on the star. And I get that. But I think that's really low-level thoughts. I think that's like the easiest form of saying, hey, I don't know shit, so I'm just going to pin it on the star. It makes absolutely no sense. I think personally you shouldn't do that. If it's not the star's fault, why pin it on him? Why use him as a scapegoat? That makes no sense to me. It just doesn't. That'll be a corner kick for Real España. They have to score in the next 20 minutes or this tie is as dead as a doornail pretty much going into Costa Rica. I think they're still fighting an uphill battle even if they do score 1 goal and have a 3-1 loss. But if Columbus gets 4 points Wednesday and Sunday, they're in the playoffs. I think Charlotte will beat and draw Orlando on Sunday, but I don't know. And Orlando could possibly fall out too. Pepe's goal on the weekend will give him confidence. I hope it does. Here we go. How well Brazil will do in the World Cup with Douglas Costa. I mean, I don't think it's up to really Douglas Costa, but probably the semifinals at the very least. Brazil's going deep. I think they're going to be at least in the semifinals. Brazil's a really good team. They're a wagon this year. I mean, hell, you could possibly see a Brazil-Argentina World Cup final. Now, that could be interesting as well. That could be very interesting as well, to tell you the truth. If we're being realistic, I mean, we could also see that. So, what if that was a semifinal, though? Ooh. I always found it very weird that the U.S. is better at football than Central America on the club national team level, but despite the fact Central America loves football more than the U.S. I think it's the infrastructure. I think it's the money that goes into the game, or what money can go into the game. Because the best athletes do not play football in the U.S. and Canada. Maybe in Canada more, because football, gridiron football is not as popular. In baseball, you really don't have to be an athlete to play baseball. I mean, you have to be good at baseball, but it's to the fact that gridiron football is not really popular, and basketball is just starting to get popular. Besides hockey, I mean, I'd say football is the second best sport or second most popular sport in Canada. And even before Canada went big at it and got good at it, or the national team, I think it was. But it definitely is a lot closer now. But the infrastructure in Central America just does not match up to North America. It just doesn't. Or even Mexico. It just doesn't match up. The money just doesn't match up. And that's not trying to crap on the standards of living of those countries. But the money that are in these countries, the people who love football and the talent that just goes straight into football may be there. But the money is not there for facilities that are state-of-the-art, like what MLS could have or what Liga MX could have. And even then, probably not as state of the art as a CPL or MLS. So it's about the economics of the situation, I think, personally. You give a sort of passable player a state-of-the-art training facility, they're going to get better. You give a very naturally talented player the bare essentials, and they'll probably just stay naturally talented. And I think if you let a player who's passable become talented through working at a state-of-the-art training facility, they're going to get closer to that naturally talented player. I think that's the point. I think that matters. They're criticizing Brian because they think he's old and he doesn't deserve to go to the World Cup. Suarez is defending his decision because it's his call, and journalists have to respect that. Yenin says, Viva mi Liga. Saludos. Saludos. You know Neymar wants revenge after that 7-1 loss. True. I think he does. I looked into Google AI's future with its algorithm magic. France versus Brazil is the final according to it. I don't see that. I don't see that. We know Google gets things wrong, and I think they're wrong again. Plays out. That is a corner. Or throw-in for Real España. Congratulations on Taron Judge for 62 home runs. Yes, congratulations. At least Canada's not part of NFL, just only CFL. But CFL, it does good enough to succeed, but those players, it's either failed college players who didn't go to the NFL, or it's not even fully Canadians. There's still a good amount of Americans in that league, or foreigners that aren't Canadians in that league. So, again, it does good enough to succeed, but it's about the level of the XFL with 3 downs. I mean, and I like the CFL. I'm not trying to shit on it. I'm just trying to speak the truth here. I like the CFL. And I don't think it'll ever take over the popularity of association football in Canada. It never overcame it before Canada got good. So you guys had Johnny Manziel in the CFL. Yeah, he played for the Montreal Alouettes. And he sucked. And I kind of was disappointed. I'm not even an Alouettes fan, but I was sort of rooting for Johnny Manziel to succeed. I'm an Argos fan, but I was rooting for Johnny Manziel to succeed. Because I like Johnny Manziel. This is before I really hated Texas A&M and didn't realize they were a cult. before I realized they were a cult and everybody hated Texas A&M. I like Johnny Manziel, and I wanted him to succeed. And it was sort of disappointing on how he played in the CFL. He didn't really give a shit. He pulled Johnny football type things, and he sort of shot his career in the foot. Now, Manziel just completely retired. He used to play fan-controlled football indoor league, but now he just completely retired. He's done. He admitted, he says, he needed to quit football to find what was really his calling. And Leonel Moreira's injured in the goal. He's injured in the back of the goal. He got body checked, and he's down. He got body checked, and he's down. 4 decent stadiums in Costa Rica. Liga Pro America's infrastructure. Pro America's infrastructure is not close to MLS. Liga MX, there's too much of a difference. Okay, so we agree. I didn't say anything. Okay. I thought I was just saying it the way I see it, but I was just making sure I didn't go. I'm glad I didn't go to questionable. That's all I'm saying. But if I was the main directive of Liga MX, I'd be doing everything to ensure Liga MX will still be better than MLS for generations due to MLS's recent results against Liga MX. But that's not what they want to do. '77th minute. Alajuelense, if they shut out Real España, this tie is damn near over. You know what? Maybe I'll just still do it the way I had it planned next Tuesday, since both games are on the same day, even though this is almost... We'll see. Yeah, I'll just still do it the way I planned. Screw it. Cover both legs because I can. Both legs of both semifinals because I can. MLS is better than Liga MX. Yeah, right now it is. It has been, honestly, since 2021. I think they've closed the gap. I don't think we're so good as we dominate every year. I don't think we will. I think there's a possibility. Semi Salazar's an idiot thinking Atlas is more of a disaster than Pumas. No, Atlas is more of a disaster than Pumas. Atlas only won 2 games after winning a bicampeonato. They lost their best coach in ages. Yeah, I think Sebi is actually right for a rare Sebi W. He's right. He is right. I can't believe I'm agreeing with him, but I think he's right. Rare Sebi W. He's right. Atlas is more of a disaster. They lost their best coach in ages. They probably won't be able to replace Diego Coca with somebody at the level of them. They only won 2 games in their first season after a bicampeonato. Their best win was probably against Real Salt Lake. Yeah, I think he's right. Liga MX's owner is scared about MLS taking over. Well, it already has. Yeah, since I sold it to you and defended him and actually said he was right for once, you say, you know what, maybe he is right. Normally, Sebi Salazar is wrong, so I understand the thought of he's wrong, but in that case, no, he's right. Sometimes a broken clock is right twice a day. That's the case. Broken clock is right twice a day. That's right. For once. 10 minutes to go. The only way that Liga MX Directivos will invest in Liga MX to ensure they'll still be better than MLS for generations if it benefits them too. Exactly. And just making money, they still make money hand over fist either way. So it doesn't benefit them to be better. They still make money hand over fist. They don't have, doesn't benefit them to make the league better or keep their lead. You know, it doesn't really matter. They still make money hand over fist. And making all those touring games, playing all those tour games in the USA, again, hand over fist. And all these Molero Cups, hand over fist. I think Liga MX fans have to vote with their wallets in this situation. If you want your league to get better, you have to accept better and not just go to every game at home to make a point. I agree with that. No, yeah, I think Tigres is the biggest threat to the top 4 teams in Liga MX playoffs. Tigres should have honestly been top 4. I think he's right, yeah. I think Tigres could still beat the top 4 over 2 legs. So I agree. I'd like to see it, but I agree. Alajuelense, 81st minute, and Venegas just gets bodied, and it counts as a free kick, even though he kind of stopped up and let himself get bodied. 81st minute. Gondola with 1, Venegas with 1, and Borges with 1. Free kick for Alajuelense. Can the Galaxy be the biggest threat in the playoffs since Puig arrived? They've only had 1 loss in his last 9 games. I definitely could see the Galaxy being a bigger threat than people think. I do agree with that. Do I think they could make a playoff run from like the 6th seed? Not so sure. 5 or 6 seed, I'm not so sure. But I do think they have a chance to make a playoff run. Them or Portland, honestly, I still think LAFC are going to bottle in the playoffs. I think they are. Galaxy or Portland, I honestly think have a better likelihood of winning the West than LAFC. 4th seed, okay. Oh, yeah. Rory said if Portland wins, they could play LA. They would be 5th. Yeah, okay. Right. So, basically, whoever wins that 4-5 game, Rolando Blackburn, Cabosetta, and Felix are about to come on for Alajuelense. Their last 3 subs. Basically, whoever wins that 4-5 game between Portland and LA, they both have the biggest chance, I think, of actually going out of the West or coming out of the West as Western Conference champions. Nashville also has a chance. The West is a very competitive group in the playoffs, I think. I agree with that. I'd rather play in Portland because in LA, rather play Portland and LA because LA Galaxy always struggle in Portland. Well, you're close enough to that situation. '83rd minute. You're about to get what you want, I think. But we'll see what the and there's a sub for Real España, and that's their last sub. We've had all 5 on both sides. We could see. There you go, yeah. I think they could beat LAFC. I think Galaxy or Portland could beat LAFC. I think LAFC are going to bottle it. I have a feeling. I know they may not have a long break as the 1st seed, unlike the past couple of years, but I like Portland or LA Galaxy's chances in that match, the 4-5. I like the 4-5 winner. I like their chances to go to the Western Conference Final over LAFC. I don't know if it'll ever happen, but if it does, I'll be old as shit. If they do, if it ever happens again, I'll be old as shit. I don't think it happens, though, in my lifetime. They may be building back towards domination at closer to my older age, but I don't think they'll be dominating again in my lifespan. They may be trading off wins here or there for the next couple of years, for the rest of this decade or up to the late part of this decade. Then MLS might dominate, or probably will dominate starting through 2030 or the late part of this decade. And then maybe Liga MX builds up. Maybe MLS's cycle ends around, maybe dominant cycle ends around 2060. And then Liga MX starts building up to like trading wins, but I don't think they'll maybe maybe, if I live that long, maybe they'll start dominating again. LAFC will always be frauds in the playoffs. They've only won one playoff game. Oh, yeah, right. Conference semifinal 2019. You're right. I hope so. It's my plan. That'd be my plan. I will never retire. I will never retire. I'll either keel over on camera. As Ric Flair said, with a couple of differences, I'll either keel over on camera. Actually, no. 80-year-old Ryan's still getting mad at Bob the Builder. I mean, hey, if he's immortal, I better be immortal. If Bobby Bacala is immortal, I better be immortal. Top G better be immortal if that motherfucker is immortal. That's all I'm going to say. Here comes Alajuelense. Maybe they could get 4. They get rushed by. But here's a chance. Has a chance. Shot! Blocked away. 88th minute. Boom. Bounces it over. 88th minute. Got away by Alajuelense. They can hold on. Michael Bradley will be TFC coach at that time. So that would be Michael the Builder. Or Michael Bacala. Well, you know what? You got a point, though. I could still be mad at Bobby Bacala for spawning. For being the reason Michael spawned. Maybe. It depends if he deserves it, though. Claudio Bravo had his best game in the Timber on Sunday. Wish he would have scored. He got so unlucky. Yeah. Hell, I think the Timbers were unlucky on Sunday, honestly. Still got the assist from Mr. October, Dairon Asprilla. Yeah, exactly. 89th minute. But I think the Timbers were just unlucky overall on Sunday. I honestly think they should have at least drew LAFC. They were the better team. I don't know if winning was possible, so to speak, but I think a draw should have been what happened. That would have been the fair result. I think the Timbers were very unlucky on Sunday, just in general. 90th minute. 90th minute, yellow card, a little bit of a scrap going into the 90th. But Alajuelense is for the 3-0. Looks like it. I mean, I hope it doesn't. I hope the phrase like father, like son would apply to Michael Bradley's coaching, but I have a bad feeling it will. But I'm going to hope that it doesn't. I'm going to hope that it doesn't. Because at least I can hope. 90th minute. How much stoppage time? Giancarlo Gonzalez gets a yellow. Here's a free kick for Real España. Michael assigned 3 Italians again. Well, I'm fine with that. Bernard Alfaro gets a yellow. How much stoppage time, though? 90-30. We got 90-30. Free kick, and it gets freaking sent into space. 3 minutes of stoppage time. We got 2.5 to go. And Real España will most likely be going down to Costa Rica, having to climb a giant mountain to somehow get past, go to the final of the CONCACAF League. The glass slipper may not fit. Gets sent into the sky. Yeah, true. Giancarlo Gonzalez was the one that played for Galaxy? Yep. Former Galaxy man, Giancarlo Gonzalez, yes. And yeah, he wasn't that great for him. You're right. 91st minute. Almost halfway through stoppage time. Alajuelense about to shut this match down and most likely shut this tie down, but at the very least, put a foot into the final of the CONCACAF League. The final ever final of the CONCACAF League. Put a foot in. 92nd minute. Because he's from Costa Rica and I guess bad is passable down there. Or maybe he's just happy to be home. I couldn't tell you. 1 minute to go. Bruce Arena was still the USMNT's coach. Would he still be calling the old Bucks like how Tata does, such as... Yes, he would be. I think the only good thing about Berhalter is he calls the younger players. That's the only good thing about him. El Piojo Gonzalez is almost a retired player. His level is very low in La Liga. Yeah. He sucked at the Galaxy, and he's passable with... He looks passable here. But, again, passable is probably good enough to be a freaking starter. In comparison. 20 seconds. Depending on what the referee calls. Here's a throw-in. 92-45. 15 seconds. We're almost past the 93 mark. Here's a chance for Real España. Gets headed away. And all Alajuelense has to do is just roll this down. And that is full time. Full time. 0-3. 3-0. 3-0. Alajuelense in this first leg of the semifinals of the CONCACAF League. Alajuelense will be going home with a commanding lead, 3 away goals, and should be able to hold on to get to the final of the CONCACAF League of 2022. The redemption arc almost has a determined finish. They have a chance to complete the redemption arc if all they have to do is hold on Tuesday. All they have to do is hold on Tuesday, and they'll have a chance to complete the redemption arc. We'll see if it's against a team. Well, I guess, honestly, either Motagua and Olympia both have redemption arcs. As it looks, the final will be two teams of redemption arcs facing each other is what it looks like. But we'll see what happens. So with that being said, if you like this stream, like it, share, subscribe. You know what it is. Tell your friends. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell notification. Send super chats on the live streams. Comment on this video. Put this in playlist. Share some friends and family. All that great stuff. I will see you within an hour for the review of this match. I'm Ron, and I'm out. Peace.